Hello friends, this is Otz, no need to discuss it, and today I want to talk about gen times in DBD. Now, I've been playing Dead by Daylight since late 2017, and in all of these years, believe me, there's always been people that complain about gens going too fast. No matter the patch, no matter the update, always. I have agreed with it more or less, depending on whatever update we were on and depending what perks were available. The game used to be very broken on some instances, that's completely true. However, one thing that was also always true is that even if survivors could do gens very fast, they had to put their cards on the table and they had to give something up. Yes, survivors could do gens in 25 seconds into a match and still lose because they brought too many toolboxes, they grouped up too much, now they don't have medkits, maybe they don't have perks to counter slugging, maybe they allow someone to get tunneled and killed too early into the game, maybe they don't have endgame perks. All of those things that they did to do gens fast had a price, a trade-off. And it was the same if they brought a lot of medkits. If they brought a lot of medkits, then they didn't do gens very fast. You could bring Franklins, you could switch killer, you could change your add-ons, you could adapt to these things because there were clues that told you what was going to happen. But increasingly, this is becoming less and less the case. There are very huge discrepancies in the time it takes to do things in Dead by Daylight right now. And there are no clues sometimes for killer to have an idea of how long things will take. And if you have no idea how long something will take, and that thing can take a little or a lot, it's very difficult for you to make meaningful decisions. You cannot improvise and have a plan, a coherent plan of I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, if gens, healing, and everything else is completely unpredictable. And to illustrate my point, I'm going to show you some numbers right here that I've mostly compiled myself. First, we start with generators. We know that the base kit is 90 seconds. A few hit skill checks makes that a bit shorter. A really good set of perks can make that shorter with no items. Very good toolboxes can shave off 30 seconds easily. And the most busted combinations of perks and toolboxes can make a gen twice as fast. Admittedly, some of these cases are a bit extreme, so I'm gonna color those in a different way. I'm gonna blur them out. We're not gonna consider that, but a gen realistically can easily take from 100 seconds to 60 seconds. 40-second variant. Which one will you get? You don't know as a killer. We then move on to healing. Healing takes 16 seconds, takes 2 people to heal. So 32 seconds base can be a bit longer, can definitely be a lot shorter with wounds and medkits. So a survivor can heal themselves in 9 seconds or 32 seconds. And you don't know which one it is. If they have a medkit, maybe you can guess it's going to be 9. If they don't have a medkit, it could still be 22 because of Circle of Healing, which you cannot predict until you hear it, and then you have to go search for it. When it comes to recovery, people dying on the ground, they can be on the ground for 32 seconds and then be picked up by Soul Guard or a teammate, or they could pick themselves up in 24 seconds with Unbreakable, which again, you don't know if it's there until you get hit by it. If they have Exponential, which again, you cannot see in the lobby, you cannot predict until it just happens, and then again, you don't even know if it's there, they can also pick themselves up in only 16 seconds, or even faster with some other combinations, but let's assume the more common outcomes. When it comes to hook stages, these used to be very fixed, and believe it or not, this was good for the game in some way, because if survivors wanted to sit on gens for too long and do gens too much, they had to first heal, they had to first come for the rescue. The killer had ways to make pressure, and sometimes you could force survivors to come to a hook and they had to make tricky decisions. They had to play it really well. Right now they have a lot more leeway. Hook stages can very easily take 90 or sometimes even longer than that seconds. And that gives killers no real way to stop gens if they actually commit to face camping. It only takes a couple perks for this to happen, so this is fairly common. Hooks are no longer predictable, and you can no longer latch onto that as a strategy to put pressure on survivors. So without being able to reliably slug, without being able to reliably injure, without being able to reliably camp to second stage, you as a killer need to be very good in chase right now. You need to be very good in chase. And how long does it take to end the chase? We don't know. It could be 5 seconds, it could be 5 minutes. It's completely up to your skill, your killer, the map, how good the survivors are, whether any perk on either side helps you. That's where the fun of the game comes. Keep chases short, maybe give something up now, maybe break a pallet now so that later the chase is shorter. That's where the fun of the game is, and that's okay. But if you look at these numbers, and let's just say that you are very good at predicting, and we only look at the numbers that survivors can do without any items that you can see and predict, you still have huge variances between the highest and the lowest. And you as a killer cannot keep up with the lowest of these times unless you're playing a really strong killer. And I feel like that's what this game is going to push us towards. If capturing multiple survivors and putting them on the hook takes too long and is too difficult and things are too unpredictable, people are just going to be playing more Starstruck nerds than before, if that's even possible. They're going to be looking for other shortcuts. Killers don't have an add-on that allows you to just skip half your objective. I think. There's no add-on like that. And if there was, it would probably be removed from the game immediately for being too strong. That would be just wrong. And another concerning part about all of this is that it makes subtle cheaters have so much room for plausible deniability. If you see a survivor that doesn't have any items, they go near a gen and 50 seconds later that gen pops, a year ago I would have called that guy a cheater. Nowadays, I can't possibly know. It's maybe even potentially remotely possible that with some combination of perks and luck, that gen could be done 30 seconds quicker with no items. And it's becoming a little bit irritating. I'm not gonna lie. You have games where things happen at speeds that are just so different from each other. Your slowest gen on a solo squad that is doing really bad is so slow compared to your fastest gen on a team that has toolboxes. And I don't know if this discrepancy is good for the game. And furthermore, I don't know how to fix it. I think that if the game is balanced around 90-second gens, generators should stay relatively close to 90 seconds. They shouldn't be much higher. They shouldn't be much lower. If the game is balanced around 60-second gens, then make it them 60 seconds. I don't think the game can simultaneously be balanced for 9-second heals and 30-second heals, and 90-second gens and 60-second gens. These items that survivors can opt to bring every single time are making such an impact. If you have 2 medkits, which are 9-second heals, and then 2 good toolboxes, which shave off 30 seconds, this group of survivors with these 4 items is saving 2 minutes. If you put up the numbers together, assuming they use all the items, which they don't always do, but still, 2 minutes worth of efficiency time compared to the next lobby that has 0 items. Why should survivors not bring these items every single game? Why shouldn't they? And furthermore, if they do bring them every single game, why shouldn't killers just play the strongest killers with the strongest add-ons and send themselves to the strongest maps? We are heading into a very tricky balancing territory, I'm afraid. And I think you're going to see very sweaty killers, very sweaty survivors, and you're sometimes going to lose games or come close to losing games for reasons that you no longer understand. And I think that's a problem. And you guys tell me, what do you think the solution is? My best guess is have a look at the strongest killers and add-ons, bring them down to normalcy, and please take these items and make them less busted, at least by numbers. Thank you so much for watching. Please do tell me what you think. I am shooketh.